sal.
Dirty sugar.
It was actually the last one I had.
Uh-huh.
It was a donut bun.
Donut bun, yes.
Yeah. Beef, cheddar, bacon, pear, and apple in maple demi-glaze. And I gotta say, I did not notice the pear or the apple.
Really?
Yeah.
I imagine they'd be probably like chopped up real small into like a jam sort of thing.
I think that's what it was, and they were in the maple glaze, and that's really all I tasted. And this is the first time I really noticed the maple. Mm-hmm. But once
How
again,
sweet was the donut itself? On this
very
one?
sweet, like really good for the first bite. It was very messy. The burger started to fall apart. I had to use a knife and fork at the end of it.
Oh wow!
But much more of a dessert burger. Like I could not eat a full burger like this.
Okay, so would you say the donut was like a Krispy Kreme style?
No,
not that soft, right?
not that soft. More like a plain donut you get in a box at the grocery store.
Okay,
unglazed.
À l'ancienne.
Yes, unglazed but sugary.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that. It was good. I really enjoyed it as a dessert burger.
So now, the sweet and salty.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well.
Was the cheese and bacon, did that add enough salt to the sweet and salty?
I really didn't notice the cheese.
Really?
Yeah. Everything was kind of overtaken by the glaze, the maple glaze. So everything just tasted like maple glaze.
Uh-huh.
That kind of leaked on over everything. The beef was fine, but didn't really jump out at me as anything. It really didn't taste like much.
Now, two of your burgers were beef, correct?
Yes.
And now, how did you like the small beef patty on, say, the other one, since this one kind of vanished into the donut?
I did like it. I did like it on the other one. The other one, well, I don't know. I won't talk about it just yet. But the other one was much more simple. It was very like with 3 ingredients on the other one. So
Okay.
It was. I was able to notice it on that one. But this one, I was really excited about the pear and apple. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't get to experience the pear and apple because it was too tiny.
That's the issue when you have such small burgers and so many ingredients. Like you said, little fingernail sized bits. So
fingernail clipping size.
Yeah. So imagine just like they probably have an apple and they just shave like a postage stamp thickness and put it on.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, there is apple.
It's in there.
But who knows really?
Yeah.
You
do
could
a
be
forensics test and you will find that traces of apple have been in there. But
so the next burger I'm going to talk about was called Octopussy. Now, there used to be like a strip joint in Montreal by that same name.
Does it not still exist?
No, I don't believe so. I think it goes by a different name now.
Okay.
And I know it's a James Bond movie.
Oh, MGM came and they shut the place down.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's an inappropriate name on all accounts. It's inappropriate for a James Bond movie because who you fooling? For the strip club, it's actually the most appropriate, but still weird.
Why inappropriate, though?
The pussy part.
That's the part?
That's the part.
I thought the idea that there would be 8 of them.
Oh, geez, I didn't think about that.
Well,
I just imagined it was like a vagina with tentacles.
Yeah, like...
Little suction cup tentacles.
Yeah, like...
It's a scary monster vagina.
It's a horrifying image.
Yeah.
For sure. Probably not...
Lovecraftian vagina.
Yeah, maybe not what you'd want in a burger, but I think... Well, I mean, the character in James Bond, from different parts of the world, different names.
Somehow that's like, okay, yeah, I guess it got lost in translation or something. Yeah, who we fooling?
I mean, there are different... it's not the first time that name comes up in James Bond anyway.
Is it?
It's someone's first name.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
the only time that it came up. It's not like in the previous movie they're like, well, wait till you meet Octopussy.
But what about Pussy
and
Galore?
Pussy Galore came up.
And I'm sure there's another one.
There's some other pussy.
I'm sure I don't know. There's got to be a...
I think you're thinking of Austin Powers with like a lot of vagina or whatever it was.
I'm not thinking that. But, if you dial it back a little bit, you got Puss in Boots.
Yeah, but that's not the same because that's a pussy cat.
Yeah, but that puts a pretty horrifying image into your head too.
Not especially, no.
No?
No.
I think anything, if
you
try hard enough.
It's just a lady in boots. Or a cat.
I suppose so. Still, you feel kind of dirty as a kid reading about it.
But even then, like, Pussy Galore, okay, even if we're going to really clean it up and say it's Kitty Cat Galore.
Yeah.
All right, sure. But then Octo Kitty?
Yeah.
That's still terrifying.
That is terrifying. I don't know. People who made the English language really messed up when they decided that a cat and a female reproductive organ is going to be named the same thing.
I don't think there was a boardroom where they're like, yeah, we'll use that one for both. Sure, go ahead.
I'm sure somebody would have been there and be like, this is going to be a mistake. You'll see in later years. We're not going to want this to be...
By the 1900s, you're going to regret this one. So this next one...
Nostradamus of the English language.
This next one was the Octopussy. It's a grilled octopus.
Yes.
Grilled bell pepper, caramelized onion, arugula, and Cajun sour cream.
Huh. What was Cajun sour cream like?
I don't know. Not that notable in it, sort of. It was just sort of like it was almost like a mildly spicy mayo. It was just sour cream that had a little spice to it.
So much like the sour cream of...
normal sour cream.
Our sour
spicy.
cream. A little bit of sriracha or
but
something.
Yeah, exactly. a little paprika in there. I don't know. A little spice. I was actually really impressed with the cook on the octopus.
Okay.
It was maybe the most tender, easy-to-eat octopus I've ever had in my life. Because usually octopus will get a little rubbery. But this was not the case here. It was like a very tender, well-cooked chicken. Like it broke apart very, very easily. I made sure to take a bite that was just a small bite of octopus just to see how it was alone. It was excellent octopus. It was the best octopus I've ever eaten.
I'm just shaking my head. I think sea creatures should remain in the sea. Fish is for the fish. Fish is for fish. You can take that to the bank.
While we were ordering, or before we ordered, we floated the idea of splitting each of our burgers so that we could try all of them. But we would only split 3 because Matthew had no interest in the octopus whatsoever.
No interest in sinking my teeth into such a... I know it's not full of suction cups, but I would imagine sticking my teeth into it would be like trying to separate something that doesn't want to be separated. Like biting into a tongue.
Interestingly enough,
Sickening,
they did have pig tongue as one of the burgers on the menu. The TABOO burger was a pig tongue burger.
Well, if they're going to start putting garbage bits into burgers, they could easily get to 50. They could probably get to 100. It's like here's an eyelid from a lamb. Here's an eyelid lamb burger. That's number 67.
Now, Matthew, sinking your teeth into an octopus made me think of something. Recently, I was watching one of these Anthony Bourdain shows.
Okay.
And he was with the natives of the land, and they were catching an octopus. I think they used like a spear or something. And he was describing how the traditional way to kill the octopus once you've caught it is to grab it and bite its small brain.
With your own teeth?
With your teeth. Like crush its brain with your teeth.
There's got to be other tools for that.
That's what I was thinking. I think he said either you could club it over the head and knock it out, or the traditional way was to find its brain and bite it.
Bite the brain out?
Yeah, not bite it out, just crush it.
Jesus.
And as we know about an octopus, they're very like malleable, right? They can squeeze their whole bodies into jars and do different little weird things like that.
Yes.
So I imagine it'd be hard to find its brain if it's so malleable, right?
There's so much around it.
Right? It's got such a big head area.
It has a beak.
It has a beak. I'm still not entirely familiar with the beak or if that's just a thing of cartoons. But either way, it's got to be based on something.
Yeah.
And so Anthony Bourdain proceeded to bite that octopus's head probably half dozen times. And just like really biting at it and clearly not finding the brain because it took so many times. Would you try that?
Absolutely not. And I don't know how much money they'd have to pay, but I have to imagine that Anthony Bourdain at some point...
Well, he's getting paid to do the show.
Yeah, but maybe halfway through him biting into his octopus head, looking for a brain, do you think maybe he just stopped to question what he's doing with his life? Like, yeah, he's getting paid, but like someone's filming him, making a fool of himself, biting into this big... sickening sea creature.
But at the same time, like it's wrapping its tentacles around your arm. You want to kill it quick so that it doesn't overtake you.
There's just better. I don't know. There's just shoot it. Take a knife.
Shoot it.
Do it. You just cover it with salt.
He pulls out a shotgun and just blows the entire octopus away.
Cover it in salt. I feel like if it works on a slug, it's got to work on an octopus.
That's a good point.
Cover it in lye.
But I imagine that would be more suffering for the octopus to let it burn to death in salt.
Those
than
things
to,
should
like, just crush
suffer.
its...
The only way they die should be through suffering, through great suffering.
Why?
I think.
What is it? What did an octopus ever wrong you?
They're just like, there's a reason they look the way they do. It's
Evolution.
It's karma. I think it's just reincarnation. And if you lead the
karma,
worst,
I think.
If you lead the worst kind of life imaginable, you come back as a sickening octopus with a beak.
But what about like a jellyfish?
That's even worse, I think.
I was wondering,
Yeah.
better or worse, squid?
It's all like they're all in the same
They got tentacles.
wheelhouse. Like they're just gelatinous, horrible creatures that nobody should be eating. Definitely not on a burger.
Starfish?
Oh, they're peaceful,
Okay.
and they remain on the bottom. And I think
Octopuses aren't not peaceful.
I don't know, man. I've seen octopus.
This isn't 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, where a giant octopus or squid or whatever is taking your submarine.
Until somebody demonizes starfish, I'm not gonna start attacking the starfish community. But
What about sea ninjas? They throw starfish.
yeah, but the starfish are not to blame. They're just a victim of
That's
the
true.
ninjas.
That's true.
It's
So, this octopus burger,
yeah,
I mean, we're using the term burger pretty loosely.
real loosely. Did you find the brain when you bit into this thing?
No, it was just tentacle.
Okay.
None of the little suction cups stuck to the inside of my mouth.
You didn't save any?
I was happy about that.
Okay, good.
But this was actually really delicious. The grilled pepper, onion gave a little sweetness to it. The arugula sort of balanced things out a little bit, and the sour cream complemented the octopus quite well. Usually I've only had octopus just like with a little oil and lemon juice, but this was actually quite nice, and the sort of the sourness of the sour cream, I guess, works in that same way that the lemon juice would. This was this was special. I like this. I really enjoy this.
All right. Well, I'm glad that somebody got something out of it. It wasn't me. I didn't even like having it being eaten.
Really?
In
Does
front
that
of me.
bother you that much?
Nah, it was covered up.
If I cut off just a little, like a 1 gram bite, just the size of a little raisin, would you have tried it just to see what octopus tastes like?
Maybe not, because then you'd be able to hold it over me that I ate a piece of octopus. The next one I had was the Bayou. It was suggested by you.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
Beef, crispy onions, bruschetta, and sriracha.
Now, Matthew, we had a bit of a kerfuffle. Please explain what happened when you ordered this burger.
It's not as bad as you're painting it out. I just ordered a bunch of burgers, as you do when you order these little guys.
Sure.
And I kind of forgot what was in some of them by the time I ordered them. And I told the waitress, listen, I don't know what's in these burgers necessarily.
Even though I just ordered them.
Yeah, it's
I
like, I don't want to waste your time, lady. So I'm just going to tell you, if any of these come with tomatoes, remove them. Make sure there are no tomatoes. And then she said, no problem. And then walked away. And then we later got to talking when we realized that one of the burgers, the Bayou, had beef, onions, sriracha, and bruschetta. And that's one of the main ingredients in that burger that already has so little. The bruschetta is going to have tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I kind of want that. I kind of want that tomato. And that's the only tomato in any of my 3 burgers. So I had to wait till she came back and
So
get her attention.
bruschetta is like a small diced tomato with like
basil?
some basil or parsley, some onion, and maybe a little oil, salt, pepper.
Yeah. And I can deal with that because it's little tiny pieces.
Small dice, yeah.
So I had to tell her, I was like, I
It's
know
just
I
a
said
thick slice of tomato that's really creeping you out.
Yeah. And so I had to tell her, I know I said no tomatoes. But now the one thing that did have tomatoes, I'm going to need the tomatoes in that. And she was like, oh, don't worry. I told them no bruschetta. And I was like, I want the bruschetta. Tell them to put it back.
It's like, so I'll go back and tell them in the kitchen to just make it normal? Yes.
Yes. Yes, please. I'm sorry. I've wasted your time.
How'd you like that one?
That one was pretty good. I think that was the best one out of them all because it was very simple. Wasn't too spicy, even though it said it was going to be kind of spicy.
Well, sriracha, I figured it'd be a little spicy, but just a little.
Just a little bit of it. And just simple. I didn't have to wonder what I was eating. Nothing got neglected because of a maple element involved. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty good. I enjoyed the meat itself was pretty good. I was able to take like 3 bites of it, so I didn't really get
this one was beef or bison?
Beef.
Beef, okay.
Yeah. And it was good. Good consistency. I would have liked it a little pinker, but I wasn't going to complain, like you said, with the meatball-sized patty. But the taste, everything kind of balanced itself out really well. I didn't find there was too much bun. There was enough of the bruschetta to
I imagine
really...
with the bruschetta would kind of absorb, the bun would absorb a little bit and make the